You know, it really sucks just how much social media has ruined our ability to socialize, to connect with each other, to do these things that sound really basic. And if you've ever seen one of the people that get all high and mighty about quote unquote leaving social media, you'd think it was an inherent ability that we as human beings have to connect with each other, to socialize, to wait for meaningful interactions rather than to just engagement farm or make clickbait or whatever. But it's not. In the modern day and age, if you are communicating through digital means, through anything but a direct message, the inherent vehicle by which you are communicating, the social media platforms that you are using, are built in a way that reward you for getting more interactions and effectively discourage you by getting less, which means that your very concept of interacting with someone, of getting a meaning, of making a meaningful connection is skewed because the amount of people you can reach, the amount reaching the right people even, is completely filtered through an algorithm, through a feed, through quote unquote content. It's not whether you actually attracted someone's curiosity, whether you actually appealed to their senses, to their values. It's just whether you managed to get the right engagement. And this is really frustrating, especially for someone who on this channel, on Lost Saves, the series is called Liminal Musings, by the way. I'm Addy, just in case you didn't know. The entire purpose of my content here is to make meaningful videos. I don't even want to call it content, but to have meaningful discussions that are mostly absent from the YouTube meta, from clickbait, from sensationalism, from whatever else. To just have meaningful discussions about what's on my mind and connect with other people about that. That has been the entire goal of the channel since I made it. However, through 2021 and 2022, I kind of fell back into my old ways. I fell into the trap of chasing views and engagement and momentum and trying to maximize the number of people that saw this channel. And I kind of killed the spark for me for a little bit there. After, as I've covered in the recent videos, I've spent we're approaching 2 decades that I've spent uploading videos to this website, YouTube. After spending all this time with it, I had finally found the formula that I thought worked for me to upload gaming videos to it in a way that worked for me, and I went and squandered it. I went and chased the typical gameplay, new game live commentary format for a little bit. Then I was chasing news videos. I did the same thing I did for years and years of just trying to chase whatever I thought might get me more views to make the number go up. And it ruined it because the number going up was artificial. Chasing that was superficial. It was things that I didn't necessarily care about as much as I thought I did when it was giving me that dopamine hit of getting views. And I got bored of it. And then when I wasn't getting the views or wasn't able to stick with something or with the ideas that I had based purely on viewership and not intrinsic motivation, I got very discouraged. I felt really bad about it. I was beating myself up over it. And the reality is that I never should have done that in the first place. And that's why I'm so grateful with this Liminal Musings series that I am reaching people that are having thoughtful responses to what I say, that they're connecting with what I say. And even the older videos that I'm getting to resurface from a dead channel that never got any traction or had any responses to it, getting to resurface those and just continue those discussions and connecting with people over it means the world to me. But it is very thin ice to not fall back into that trap. I am building all of the systems in place so that this channel mostly runs itself from a, behind the scenes kind of standpoint. So I don't have to worry about those things as much. And it's not something I'm going to depend on for, my online relevance, for my income, whatever. Whatever it may contribute will be great, but it's not what I'm stressing about. Because circling back to my original point, the ability to connect with other people and have these meaningful discussions and connections is entirely dependent on my ability to get views on the videos in the first place. It is this glaring contradiction in anyone who ever argues that they just do YouTube or streaming or whatever for fun or for connection, and yet they're also the ones trying to figure out how to get more views and how to find more success, because there is a direct inherent tie between your quote-unquote success in terms of metrics on the platform and your ability to reach those people and have those connections. I truly think most people would be better off if they just found and built small audiences and communities and then stuck with those. And, it may grow or fluctuate over time, but not chasing the infinite growth of trying to be an internet celebrity. I think most people would be way better off, way healthier, and way more fulfilled by doing so. And I am experiencing that myself, running a multitude of channels, having worked on YouTube in a multitude of ways over the past nearly 2 decades, as I said. Currently, I'm running a 300-ish thousand subscriber tech channel. That's been my thing. It's been my full-time focus for a long time because tech videos just really worked for me. It appealed to a lot of my ADHD stuff, a lot of my inherent, just like the things I'm interested in. But I gotta admit that streaming isn't exactly what I care about 24/7, and lately it's kind of something I don't care about a whole lot at all. And that kind of tech just, it gets stale sometimes. And I have found that reaching you all that listen to this Liminal Musing series, that respond to it, give me the thoughtful replies, and have these conversations with me about anything from recovering from tragedy to ADHD to just YouTube success to motivation to getting out of bed. Those of you that truly respond and interact with me, these comments and these interactions have been far more fulfilling than anything I'm getting out of my main channels at the moment, despite the fact that it obviously doesn't pay the bills. But that's the problem. That is inherently the problem, is yes, I may only get a handful of comments on each of these videos, and yes, they are way more fulfilling than the dozens of comments I get on every video on my main channel. I'm only going to get those comments if I reach people. And this is that contradiction that I'm talking about of we are constantly fed and told by holier than thou people or people who have supposedly figured it out that you're supposed to separate the engagement numbers and quote unquote engagement from actually connecting with people and having real conversations. But if you want to use these tools that have these conversations, you literally can't separate them because you are dependent on them to have those conversations. Now, the overall real answer here is that you should be finding social circles, support systems, friends, whatever, outside of your internet social media profiles. Of course, that is ultimately what should be happening. But a lot of us really enjoy the internet. A lot of us really enjoy making videos and connecting with people on them. A lot of us really enjoy getting our thoughts out here in kind of like a blog format, but through voiceover. I'm not going to call it a vlog because that already has been defined as a genre where you're filming yourself doing things, of course. But, in this pseudo vlog format, a lot of us like getting our thoughts out this way and then hearing people's thoughts in return after you talk about it. And it's this just back and forth of okay, I just want to talk to the cool people and have these conversations. I don't want to chase views or numbers or watch the line go up or whatever. But in order to get people to that system, to have those, to get people into your party, to hang out with you, you have to get enough invites out there, and you have to have the people interested in you or whatever. I'm talking in circles, and I'm sounding probably really repetitive and annoying, but that's because that is how the world works at the moment. That is how communicating works at the moment. It is circular. It is this contradiction and yet a cycle that we are stuck in. And I don't know what the escape is. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that sometimes it really sucks. Like I said, I don't know what the answer is because I can't be okay, yeah, I should be able to post this up here. And inherently people who are in the right mindset, who want to hear these kinds of things and talk about them should just magically show up and talk to me. The world does not work that way. But this system is pretty whack, man. Let me know your thoughts. Check out the full Liminal Musings playlist in the description. Shoot me an email or leave me a comment if you have a specific thing you want to talk about or hear answered. Remember to be kind. Rewind.